I'm Laurie Friedrich, and we're here live at the Tech Edge Conference. And today we're very fortunate to have Carrie Kracl with us. Carrie is a professor of education at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. And she came in today to share just a bit about iPads in the classroom after an initiative that they've started, and wants to share some of the get started ideas for the person who's new with iPads, as well as some apps that they found to be really effective across the subject matter. So, Carrie, welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I presented with several of my colleagues from University of Nebraska at Kearney. You know, it's hard when you bring iPads into a session because the experience levels are so different. So we have some who they told me this was the first time they'd ever touched an iPad, and others who are ready for something more. So an introduction is always important. There's things that I always learn, you know, from somebody, little tips and things like that. Right. So how to make folders, how you can drag the apps on top of each other to create folders, how to take a screenshot. You know, all of those things are available to find out. If you ever want to know how to do something, you can just Google it and either find a video or find some directions, because all of that is available. So, an introduction is always really important on just how to use an iPad. Mm-hmm. Then at the University of Nebraska at Kearney, all of our students have iPads. So we teach them in our elementary methods courses. So some of the apps that I use, there's one called iTalk and Quick Voice. And both of those are great for when you want to have maybe a fluency reading that a student does. You want to be able to save it. You can email those to parents or a special ed teacher. So those are kind of some fun ones to share. There's all kinds of vocabulary apps that you can have. So we have lots of vocabulary apps. I encourage the participants today to find a good app finder. And so you can even Google that, an app finder, and then I get a daily email that tells me maybe an app that I've been wanting to buy that's now free for 2 weeks. Today we had a math professor sharing some math apps. I know Candy Counts is one that he recommends for that, for beginners. The NCTM also has a lot of apps, and so you can just go to your app store, put that in your app store, and it will pull up all the available apps.
And what is that called?
NCTM. It's the National Council of Teachers of Math.
Oh, very good.
So NCTM. We had our PE teacher who does our PE methods. He recommended going to PE Geek. And then from that, searching for PE Geek, you can go, it has all the PE apps available right there. So lots of times it's just kind of being proactive and looking out there for some good apps and trying some out. Sometimes, you know, when you look for an app, you can see how many stars has it gotten, what do people say about it, does it have a lot of glitches in it, and then you can decide if it's worth the money or not. I really have very few apps that I've ever paid for. Most of my apps are free. I bought one, probably the most expensive app I have is called iCard Sort.
Love that.
iCard Sort is a fun one because it's like how we have had kids sorting with real cards, and now they're doing it on the iPad. I believe that one was $4.99. So I try to find apps that are free.
So what is your favorite go-to app? Do you have some that you find work across the curriculum instead of just in a specific area?
Well, right now, probably my favorite one, if I was going back into the classroom to be a primary grade teacher, I've really fallen in love with Reading Rainbow. So think back to Reading Rainbow when you had LeVar Burton on TV. He has created an app, Reading Rainbow, and he hosts it. For free, you can get 5 free books. And so I just think about how when I was in the classroom, I had all my baskets with my cassette players and my books, and then I upgraded and I had CD players with my books. Well, now you can have your iPad. And even last night, my 6-year-old wanted to be read to, and I was trying to get things ready to go. And it doesn't replace mom cuddling up with him, but we went into Reading Rainbow, and you can choose Read to Me, and so they read the book to him. My kids really like 4 pictures. That's a fun one that they like.
What do they do with that?
It's just a lot of, there's 4 different pictures, and then they have to decide what's the commonality between all 4 of them. So it's critical thinking, trying to make associations. So, you know, there's so many things you can do in your classroom because you have science, social studies, math apps, reading apps. So you can use it as the students having access to the apps, or you can use it as the teacher being able to use it. I love the Quick Voice or the iTalk because, you know, it's better than having that old cassette tape where I was recording my students reading. Now I can just record them right on the iPad. If I felt like they did a nice job and showed a lot of improvement, just email it to their parents and say, hey, I want you to listen to this.
Great.
Yeah, so there's, you know, so many things. Teacher Kit is probably a good one that all teachers should have. Teacher Kit is where you take a picture of all the students in your class, and so you have all their pictures there, and then you can put in, type in notes, you can put in their parents' email addresses, phone numbers, you can do attendance on it, you can put in your grades.
That's fantastic. Well, I think those are really helpful for a teacher who says, how do I get started, right? I have this new iPad, my principal gave me one. I'm not exactly sure I know what to do with that, but these are some really helpful ideas, I think, for that beginning teacher. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the person who's just getting started with the iPad?
Be willing to take a risk. It's not going to break. Even if you accidentally delete something, everything is in your app store. So let's say you spent $5 on an app, and then you were touching your home button and everything started to wiggle and you had that red X and you deleted, it's really not gone. It's still in your app store, it's still there. So be willing to take a risk. I guess one little point, a lot of people wonder why their batteries die so fast on an iPad.
Yes.
When you hit your home button, you really haven't closed out your app, even though your app is not there anymore. And so a lot of people are shocked to find out that all of their apps are still open. And so when you hit your home button twice, all those apps that are running and open are there. And once you X those out of there, it's really going to save your battery life. So that's just a little pointer that a lot of people don't know about.
That's a great idea, especially as classrooms are moving to having every student on an iPad. You want those to last throughout the whole day, and they have a great battery.
Right.
So
yes,
that's a great clue.
I would say too that the audio is great, and so if you want to do recordings, you don't feel like you have to have a microphone. They pick up sound very, very well.
And video so quickly and easily, right? Hold it up and you can create your video and put it at your Edmodo's site or YouTube or wherever you go. Yep. Fantastic. Carrie, thank you so much for being with us at Tech Edge today. And I hope all of you found some ideas that you might be able to try in your classroom too. Have a great day.